Hey guys, I'm in Thailand. I've been a bit sick lately, stuck in bed, bit of a flu, so not fun. But it got me thinking about the healthcare. So I'm going to be talking about in this video my experiences with the healthcare here in Thailand compared to the West. A lot of people have this perception that Western countries have the best healthcare and these Asian countries have lower standards, but that's not true. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking it down into 5 parts. First is your GP visits, everyday doctor stuff. Second, specialist care and private hospitals. Third, pharmacies and medications. Fourth, insurances and costs. And then finally, practical tips for expats so that if you move in here, you know what to expect. So this video is for those who are interested in moving, living or working in Thailand. Like myself, I'm a British expat, living in Thailand now for 7 years. Before we dive in, a quick note that the US and the UK have completely different healthcare systems. So when I compare to Thailand, I'll look at it against both the US and the UK. Okay, let's start with GP visits because in Thailand, there are plenty of GPs. Whereas for example, in the US or the UK, you might end up waiting a long time to see a specialist there. So Thailand has both public and private hospitals, and the difference is huge. Public hospitals are mainly for locals, and a trip there might cost less than $10. It's crazy cheap. They're more overcrowded, and English-speaking staff aren't as common outside of the big cities. And then you've got private hospitals where many expats go here. The care is fast, staff speak English, and most of the doctors here are Western trained. And costs are still affordable. A general checkup here might cost upwards of $40. And compare that to over $200 in the US. And in the UK, GP visits are free for locals, but if you're expat, that's a different story. You then may need to pay out of your pocket or need private insurance. So I went to a private hospital this week because of my flu. I walked in and I got checked in 10 minutes. And I was guided through everything in English. It was pretty straightforward. And contrast that to one of my friends who went to a public hospital last month. He waited 2 hours with minimal guidance, so that's the difference there. And if you're in Bangkok, Phuket or Chiang Mai, these big hospitals or the private clinics are pretty close to where you live because there's so many. So when you're sick, that's a really big factor because you don't want to travel far when you have a fever. Okay, now let's talk about specialist care because this is where Thailand really shines. Major private hospitals are JCI accredited. So what that basically means is they meet the global standards. And lots of hospitals in Bangkok have this state-of-the-art equipment which would honestly rival those hospitals in the US or the UK. And like I mentioned, many doctors here are actually Western trained, some in Europe, some in the US or Australia. And English is widely spoken in these private hospitals. And in my experience, that gives you clarity in communication and it gives you confidence in their care. And cost is another big advantage here. An MRI, for example, costs around $300 here in Thailand, but in the US, that will cost upwards of 1,500 USD. Knee replacement surgery, around $12,000 in Thailand, but in the US, that will be upwards of $40,000. And when it comes to routine checkups and dental care, here in Thailand, that's extremely affordable. A basic checkup here in Thailand might cost you around 50 USD, but in the UK or the US, that might cost upwards of 150 USD. And in my experience, I found that short wait times here are a really big bonus. In Thailand, you can often schedule specialist surgery in just days. Compare that to the NHS in the UK, waits can stretch months for non-urgent cases. Or in the US, where insurance approvals and high costs can delay things. And on top of that, many private hospitals here in Thailand have literal hotel-like amenities. And I'm not joking. Luxurious rooms, gourmet meals, really attentive nurses, and it really makes a stressful experience much more comfortable. And as you know, I'm living in Bangkok, meaning these hospitals are in a really close radius to where I'm living because I'm in the center, which is really assuring having that peace of mind because you know, high quality care here is super accessible. And I think it's also important to talk about pharmacies here because Thailand has them everywhere. Malls, hospitals, streets. English-speaking staff are common here and the over-the-counter meds are very affordable and quite easy to get as well. For example, look at this. Right here, I've got painkillers, fever medicine and antibiotics. Prices are much lower than the US and a course of antibiotics here might cost you as little as just a few dollars instead of $30, $40 or $50. So all of these cost me just 300 baht, which is around $10. So of course, pharmacies here are perfect for minor conditions and follow-ups, but serious conditions, you definitely still need to go see a doctor for that. But having all this, it's quick, convenient, and it's reassuring for expats. And now insurance. This is key for expats. Most foreigners can't use public hospitals unless they work for a Thai company and they pay into social security. So basically meaning private insurance is basically mandatory. Some retirees self-insure for routine stuff, blood tests, checkups, because costs are a lot lower. Compare this to the US, it has excellent care, but can be extremely expensive. And also complex for non-residents, meaning insurance is essential just to avoid huge bills. And compare this to the UK, locals get free healthcare through the NHS, but waits can be extremely long. So the takeaway is that private insurance in Thailand basically means peace of mind. And if you're an expat in Thailand, having the right insurance is also a really important decision. In the US, insurance is basically mandatory just to avoid insane medical bills. And in the UK, you've got the NHS, which is great for locals, but it still has limited access. And Thailand's different, and the private healthcare here is seriously incredible. But you do need insurance so you can fully enjoy it without the stress. And this is where Pacific Prime comes in. I use them myself to get health insurance. They're basically an international health insurance broker which works specifically with expats. So instead of you comparing all these different plans, trying to find the right one for you, the right price, the right budget, the right spec, they do all that for you. So whether you want full private coverage, outpatient care, or just emergency protection, they can help you figure out what makes sense, especially if you live in Thailand long term. You can scan this QR code on screen if you want to see how much health insurance costs for you. And I'll leave a link below so you can get a quote and see how much it'll cost for you. And a big thank you for Pacific Prime for sponsoring this video. Okay, so let's break it all down. Pros, cons, and real experiences here in Thailand. So the pros are high quality private hospitals, English speaking doctors, short wait time, affordable care, and comfortable amenities. And the cons are that public hospitals can be crowded, they can be slow, and rural areas have fewer high quality options. Oh, and private healthcare can be expensive without insurance. So in many cases, I've heard from other expats living here in Thailand, they say that the healthcare is better than it is in the US in most aspects. But honestly, I think if you're living in a major city and you plan ahead, Thailand gives you a real peace of mind feeling. Quick care, affordable treatment, and minimal stress. And that's why so many expats feel secure here in Thailand. Okay, so here are my tips if you move into Thailand. Firstly, living in a major city like Bangkok gives you access to these private hospitals because proximity matters. Get private health insurance, this one is a must. Know which hospitals have 24/7 emergency care. And also learn what your insurance covers and what's out of your pocket. Also join expat groups and online forums because they share experiences, they share doctor and hospital recommendations, which is vital. A little planning goes a long way because trust me, when you're sick, knowing where to go is going to save you a lot of time, and that makes all the difference. So here in Thailand, I'm pretty confident when it comes to healthcare, you can find something that meets your needs and expectations. And in many cases, it can completely blow Western healthcare out of the water. I hope this video helped. I know healthcare in Thailand is a hot topic, and it's something that I'd really like to talk about more because honestly, it's a big benefit and advantage when you come into Thailand. I think I'm going to go have a rest or a nap soon and recover. If you do have any questions, please comment below and I'll try my best to reply. I'll see you in the next one.